Good people, welcome to another episode of my tutorial on HTML and CSS. Today we are going to look at HTML attributes and how they perform when they are used. So without wasting much time, let's get right into it. What are HTML attributes? HTML attributes provides additional information about HTML elements. Attributes are always specified in a start tag. So we are going to deal with, I think, 5 strong or common HTML attributes that you will need in your coding journey or you meet anytime. So we are going to treat those strong 5 HTML attributes. So let's dig into it. So the first attribute you are going to consider today is the hypertext reference attributes. The hypertext reference attributes. So right now I'm in my code editor. This is Visual Studio Code. Yes. So right now I have my HTML doc type here. So I'm going to call my HTML structure, then start coding. So this is the reason why you should install such code editor like Visual Studio Code and Atom, because they will help you to they'll help your coding experience or coding journey easy. Because right now I'm going to recall the structure with just a press, but then you just don't have to be typing the structure anytime. You can just call it. So this is the reason why we installed a Visual Studio Code or Atom or any other code editors. But if you are new here, I recommend you view my first video. That one showed or illustrates how you can install this type of this type of code editors. So it's not compulsory to use Visual Studio Code. You can use any code editors at all. So in any case, we are good to go. So I'm recording my HTML structure. So there you go. I have my full HTML structure here. I'm ready to code anything. So this is the title. We have already explained this. I think it's in my second video we explained the HTML structure, how they perform and what exactly they are. So if you're new here, I think you should step one step back and go view those videos and come and let's start with this video. It will help you understand it better. So without wasting much time, good people, let's start doing our thing. So our title, so we're going to edit it and say maybe my page is good. My page is good. So we are going to deal with the reference attribute. That's the first attribute you are going to consider. So what are they? This defines a hyperlink. It specifies the URL of a page and the link, page link. Yeah, the page link. It just specifies the page link. Yeah. So if you want to link a page to your HTML document, you use this hypertext reference. This will help you to create a link to that page you want to link to your HTML document. So let's do a little bit of coding here. So don't worry, if it, it seems weird to you for the first time, don't worry. So this is our div. So we are going to create a link for our HTML document. So we want to link some page to our HTML document. So we will just have to do some little bit of coding, then we are good to go. So yeah, so this container, I just created this div to contain all the coding. Everything that I write is going to be in this container. So this container will contain everything that I write here. So I just created this container to contain everything that I write. You see this class here. This class gives the name of this div. This class actually comes in handy when you're going to apply CSS. It will help you to style a particular div. So you're going to use this class in CSS. So when you get there, you understand the reason why we bring this class here, or in ID. So this actually gives the div its identity. So if you're going to style it and pick a particular div, okay, you're going to say we have many divs, but we want to edit this particular div. It will help us to choose this particular div, the class that's its relevance. It will help us to pick this type, this kind of div particularly, and edit it without affecting other div. So this class gives the identity of the div. So we are going to know much more about class and IDs when we start to apply CSS. So don't worry. So we are going to create our listing. So say click on into it. We start as I'm going to give this number and home, then the other one will be service, and the other one will be about. So about. So we want to add a link. We want to link a page to our HTML document here. So we want to say, okay, when you click on about, I want you to go to another page. So we are going to insert a hyperlink reference here, so that when you click on about, it will send you to the page we've linked. Yeah, so that's what you're going to do here. So we're going to create, let me clean the about. So this is where you're going to create our link. So this is the hypertext reference. So let me clean this one and add our hypertext reference. So story A, as you can see, that's the reason why we installed a code editor. Actually, when you click on, when you press something, like when you type something, it actually bring some suggestions, then you select from those suggestions, so that's the importance of installing a code editor and also installing some extensions. This is the reason why we did all that in my first video. So I need the first one, so let's go. So I'll as you can see, from here to here is the opening tag of the hypertext reference, and from here to here is the closing tag. So in between them, I'm going to say when we click on about, it should send us to this link. So here is going to be the link. So let's say fine, we want to be linked to Google. So http semicolon www.google.com. So it's important. Sorry. Oh, shit. So it's important. Okay. So as you can see, this is very different from home and service, because actually about is a link now. So when I click on this, it will send us to Google. You see. So let me come back. Click on about. It sends me to Google. So this is how we link another page to our HTML document. This is how we do it. This is how we actually do it. So I guess you've understood how to add a hypertext reference to your HTML document. So without wasting much time, let's get to the second attribute. So the second attribute actually helps us to add a picture to our website. So that one is the Src Attribute. So that's the source. It actually gives the source or the path of the image you embed in our website. So what is Src Attribute? This is used to embed an image in an HTML document. It specifies the path of the image to be displayed in our website. So let's add a picture to our page. So this is the containers div. So in everything that I write, it should be in between this div. That's the container. It contains everything. But then you can see this is the listing element, and because I want my image to be different from the listing, I will create another div where it should be a class of image. I'm giving it an identity of image. So there you go. So we're going to add a picture to our HTML, our web page. So as you can see here, I created another folder in the HTML tutorial folder we created on our desktop. I think in the second video. Oh no, the second video. So if you remember, you just have to go into that HTML tutorial, the folder you created for your code editor. You create another folder and name it images or any name you want. This folder will contain the images you're going to use for your coding. So I have mine here as images. This actually contains the images I'm going to use in my coding, and unfortunately I have only one picture here, and it's good for us to do what we have to do. It will give us the understanding. So it doesn't matter how many pictures you put in, it will actually help us understand. So you just follow. So I have only one picture in mind folder. This folder is actually in the HTML tutorial folder we created. So it's somehow a subfolder. So its name is, I name my images and I have a picture in it. So we're going to embed a picture in our website. So let's get going. So as I've finished with the div, then I'll go image. I'll type image. So immediately I type IM. As you can see, suggestions pops up. So the one I want, I just click on it, then it calls all the elements or the attributes or elements, everything I want, it will call it at once. So as you can see, this is the Src, the source. So you first have to for the Src or the source, you have to actually type the source of the image you want to add. So my source of image is from images, immediately I bring the slash. You can see it pops the image in my images folder. So if it should have been if I had 10 pictures in it, all these 10 pictures, the names would have popped up here, but then I have only one picture here, so that's why you can see only one name popped up. So I only want this picture, so I'll select this one, then I will refresh my page by saving it. That's Control plus S, then there you go, I have my picture embedded in my web page, HTML page. So this is it, a very huge picture. We're going to deal with its size soon. So we have another attribute we're going to treat later, but it's here, so why don't we treat it, then we go forward. So we have the auth attribute. What does this auth attribute do? This specifies an alternative text for an image. So if the image for some reason cannot be displayed, this normally happens when we have a slow connection. So if you have had this experience, you might have visited some page that contains pictures, and then because of your slow connection, you only see some text. Maybe this is a picture, a picture of a boy. You see that text, a picture of a boy, but you will not actually see the picture. This is where it comes from, the auth. This is where it comes from. So let's say this is a picture. Let me type this. Is a picture. This is a picture. So let me bring this one so that you can see it clear. Yeah, this is a picture. So when I refresh, you will not see any change. But let's say I make mistake. For example, I'm just making it intentionally. Let's say I made a mistake here and refresh. You can see I have this here. This is a picture. So this is actually telling us that we have a picture here, but because of a mistake in our path, the source of the picture or back connection, it cannot be displayed here. So if it happens that way, the alternative or the auth attribute appears if it's only if it's available. It will be displayed here to tell you what is actually going on here or what is actually there. So as you can see, I made a mistake here. So the picture, the web page is not finding my picture, or the HTML document is not locating my picture anymore. So it's going to pick this auth here and tell me, due to some connections or a wrong source of what you wanted to post here, we couldn't load the picture. So but then we know you wanted to post the picture here, so this is a picture, you see. So if I correct my mistakes on my image source and refresh, this is my picture goes away and the picture actually comes. So I hope you understand the scenario I'm making here. Let's say we've made a mistake here. You see this happens, this appears, but then when we get it correct and save, the picture comes. So you see, so when the picture is there, the auth is hidden, but when we have something wrong with our picture source or bad connection, this opens or this comes or this is displayed. So that's how that's what the auth attribute actually does. So we go to the fourth attribute, and that is the width and the height attribute. What does this actually do? It helps to adjust the size of the image inserted in the HTML page, and it will be automatically displayed in our web page. What does this do? Like, as you can see, I have a huge picture here, and we actually don't want it to be that huge. We want to adjust the size. We can do it with CSS, but because we are not there yet in CSS, we can actually do something about it in HTML to resize this image for us. So let's try to use this width and the height attribute to resize our picture here. So we will find a space here or a space there, anywhere, but it should be in between the tags, in between the tags, the tag of this attribute. Sorry. So is it I have a opening tag here, that symbol here, that symbol. So the width and the height should be actually in between this and that. So anywhere in here, we are good. So I'll bring my cursor here, space, get some space. So I'll then click, I'll just type width. So immediately I type WI. You see, I have a suggestion here. I'll click on it because I need it. So let's type something like 300 pixels, px pixels. You see, my picture is resized. So that's just the width. So let's add the height. So immediately I type HI, and then you see it pops out. I choose it. Later for this I will use 200 pixels. Refresh, and you see nothing here. So let's make sure you have something, a change, so that you understand the height. So the height actually adjusted from down to the top, and the height actually adjusted from the right to the left. So our picture is quite weird, so I think we should maintain the 200 so that it will be balanced, right? Yeah, that is. So let's open our page, our website. You can see we have resized this huge picture into I think collective and a good view picture here. So that's what the width and the height does. It just helps you to resize the picture you embedded in your web page. So let's go to the last attribute. That's the style attribute. What does this do? Actually, this attribute is used to add styles to an element, such as color, font, size, those styles. Yeah, formatting, like trying to change the view of a text, you see. So the color, then the font size, font type, like those things. Yeah, the formatting ways. Yeah, that's what the style does, as the name goes. Style. So we have to make sure you have everything in our container. So you click here, you can see you have everything in our container. This actually helps us to, it will help us to get a good view of our codes, and then help us to edit it in a quite good way. So Let's add something so that we can edit it, format or style it so you understand. So you create another div. For this div should be okay, let's create paragraph. So paragraph here. So we go paragraph and say this is a paragraph. This is a paragraph. So let's refresh. You can see it comes here. There's a paragraph, but then we want to change the style of this. So let's change the color of this. So I'll come here and type S. So when immediately I type S, you can see I have the style here. So choose that one. So first go. You see, there's a lot of suggestions popped up here. So let's ignore for now. Now we'll go for, let's first change the color. So let's color. Immediately I type CO, you see that they some suggestions. I want color, so I'll select color. So let's actually make it red for understanding so that you see. So let's refresh. You see it's turned red. So that's what the style actually does. So let's also add the font. Okay, the font. I need this, what I want, the font. So I'll go for 5 EM. And just say no, I'm coming. Let's try something here. Font. Okay, so with the type font, as you can see, I have the size, and we were actually coming to we are actually going to change the font type, and here it is. So you will choose the first one. So let me change the font size, make it big so that you see the difference. So you can watch here and see the difference. So refresh and go, boom, we have our paragraph being big and red. So let's change it to be maybe 10. Refresh, we have a larger paragraph, you see, and it's red. So that's actually what this style does. It helps you to edit text in the web page. So I think we are done with the 5 basic, important and common HTML attributes you ever come across in your coding journey. You will need it anytime. So I think you followed, and we are done. If you were able to follow, you're such a wonderful person. God really bless you. Amen. Yeah, so that is how it is. You just have to have time and then follow. By the end of this tutorial, you can just create your own and cool. You don't need to go and pay anyone. Tonight, there won't be one more.